Hello. I've watched a little video today and I wanted to give my feedback on it, so let's jump straight into it.
In the story of the Exodus, God rescues his people out of slavery to bring them into a new home, a distant garden land full of abundance.
But God didn't take Israel directly there. Instead, God leads Israel the long way through a harsh, dry wilderness.
But why? What's the reason for taking them through the desert?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's explore the biblical theme of the wilderness. So here's something interesting. The story of the Bible begins in a lifeless, empty wilderness. But then, God's life causes a spring of water to flow up out of the dry ground.
From that fountain, God plants a garden.
A garden full of God's own life. And then, outside the garden, God forms the human from the dust of the wilderness.
And God places humanity in the garden.
Right, so they can be connected to God's life. However,
Okay, so just hello. So far, we just want an introduction to this whole thing. I mean, the whole idea of there's wilderness before God creates life. That's a bit sucking it out of the thumb. But let's play with it. This is not the main point of the story. Yeah, let's continue.
stay close to God's life, humans need to learn how to succeed in the garden, which we're told means listening to God's voice.
But there's another voice in the garden.
Yes, the voice of a deceiver, saying, God cannot be trusted. In fact, God is holding out on you. You could have life on your own terms.
And the humans listen to that voice.
All right, so wow, amazing. This is a Christian channel, the Bible Project, and so hearing this from them is great because now they have separated that there is a voice of God, right, and then there's a voice of the devil. So they or the other side. So they know of the two, and that the whisperer they can understand the metaphor that the snake is a voice inside of your head, and you're listening to that voice. And if you listen to that voice, you get cast out of paradise. And if you don't listen to that voice, you are in paradise. And those are two important distinctions. If you are at one with yourself or at one with God, you are not listening to the voice of the devil. You're just are. You're enjoying yourself the way that you are. Everything is happening the way that it is. If you're listening to the voice, and the voice comes to empower you, right? The voice says you can be more powerful. You can be like God. You are separate from God. You are interesting. You. Oh, you. And it feeds your ego. You, I. And the more you say I is the more you separate. I want to be like God. I want to do this. I am the amazing Almighty. That's it. You separated, and now you are a human being. You are now separated from God, and you are now here in this reality. You now think of I am this. I want that. I have things. I am the Almighty. I am just a person, but whatever it is, it's I. I am a man or a woman. I choose my gender. I choose to be black or white or green or whatever. I'm a straight man, or I'm a gay man. I'm a lesbian. I'm whatever. All of these things are just more titles that you can just put on to yourself and say I. And that's the reason why we fight about all this stuff, because there's the more I you have, the further away you are from being at one, where there is no separation, but everything is as it is. You're not a gay man. You're not a straight man. You're not a man with who thinks he's a woman. I'm taking these extreme examples because that's the insanity that this world lives in. But all of the I's fade away and you just are. And when you are in paradise. Because you don't think, you don't listen, you don't you don't listen to a voice that is trying to convince you that you are something, because you are everything. It's a very fine line. There is I'll get to it in a second. I don't want to spoil everything. Let's go back to the video and then we'll continue this talk.
And as a result, they end up out in the wilderness.
So the wilderness represents the tragedy of being disconnected from God's life.
Right. Now, throughout the Bible, different characters end up in the wilderness for different reasons. Sometimes it's a result of their own decisions.
Like when Moses murders an Egyptian, and then he has to flee into the wilderness.
But the wilderness can also be the result of other people's bad decisions, like Hagar. She's abused and so escapes into the wilderness. But in both stories, God comes to meet them in the wilderness and provide for their needs.
God meets Hagar at a well and promises a blessing for her family that will last through generations.
And God meets Moses in the wilderness and prepares him to lead his people out of slavery.
Okay, so we're back to our first question. When Moses leads Israel out of slavery, why take them through the wilderness instead of straight to the land of promise?
All right, great. Another little pause. I mean, this video is amazing. They're talking about the things that we as humanity must go through. So let's say this voice is like a parasite, like a snake, right? And if a parasite is living inside of your body, like a tapeworm, for example, right? It is going to continue and is going to demand food, and you're going to eat more food. You're going to feel more hungry, so you eat more food, more. I. But if you were to stop, if you were to say, I'm going to go on a fast, I'm not going to eat anything, that parasite is going to get uncomfortable, and eventually, once there's nothing else for it to eat, it's going to come out. It will quite literally come out of your body. That's a good recipe. If you do not feed the voice inside of your head, if you don't listen to it, if it's like, oh, that's good, you should take that, that's yours, I am really whatever. If you don't listen to that, then eventually it's just going to come out. And for it to come out, this not listening part is the desert. It's you saying, I'm just going to take a moment off here. I'm going to stop consuming. Stop thinking of myself as I, and you all owe me because I am whatever. Stop consumption, and the thing that is inside of you, the greed, the egoism, whatever, it's going to come out of you. And once it comes out of you, then you become clean. You become one with God, one with the Father. Let's go back to the video.
Well, Israel had not yet learned to trust God with their very lives. And so God led them into the wilderness for a time of preparation.
Preparation?
Well, the wilderness is really harsh. But God went alongside them, providing what they needed, just enough for each day.
Why so little?
Well, God was teaching them to trust that He would show up for them every day. He's training them to listen to His instruction and stay connected to His life.
So the key to surviving in the wilderness is the same key to succeed in the garden.
Yes, the wilderness can be a place to practice being garden people.
Okay, but the intensity of the wilderness was too much for Israel. Most of them didn't listen to God. Some even wanted to go back into slavery.
And they were left behind in the wilderness. So it was the younger generation, those who were raised in and formed.
All right, so just wanted to pause there again. Yeah, you get ingrained into a certain thought pattern, and that's why it's really hard. Like in the Matrix, when Neo is unplugged and Morpheus comes up and is like, I have to apologize to you. We don't usually unplug people after a certain age because the mind has trouble letting go. And it is true. It is very true that it is difficult to... The longer you listen, the sweeter the pitch. It's difficult to let go once you've based your whole life around believing into a certain idea, and now you must forsake that. You're used to having 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, great wine, steaks and all the pleasures, right? And now you're being brought out into a place where there's no food. and it's uncomfortable. And you're like, I want to go back, you know? And in the case of Israel, whatever, exit from being slaves. It's not like they had like luxurious food, but there was food, more than bare minimum. Whereas in the desert, it's just bare minimum. And the reliance upon God, that is a very also very, very powerful thing. You know, that's how you live. The point of stopping relying on the thoughts inside of your head would imply that you need to rely on something else. The connect back to God would require you to stop listening to the voice inside of your head and being selfish. But it's really hard to do this in this world because everything around you is selfishness. And if you don't grab something on Black Friday, it's mine. Somebody else is going to grab it from you and this is going to be theirs and you're not going to have it. You know, we have to fight for the resources that we have. At least that's the illusion that we have to live in. And it seems like just trusting God and being generous and being open with your life is an impossibility in our day and age. And that's the very thing. If you don't want to believe in God, don't. Nobody forcing you to believe in God. You can continue living the way that you do. Do you want to? And if you don't, then then there's no need for you to watch any further. This is not the place that is going to condone you for indulging in your selfish life. And I don't mean to put fingers on you. I'm there with you. Just for reference sake, I am not an enlightened guru who is speaking to you about the truth. I am part of the problem. There's a voice inside of my head and it speaks. The only difference is that I've been listening very carefully for a very long time to know that it's there. And even though I realize it's there, I see the devil when most people do not. I still can't overcome this temptation to say, mine, and so on. So yeah, let's go back to the video and I'll polish up on some other points.
By the wilderness, they had become ready to enter into the garden land.
And when they first entered the land, their trust in God was strong.
But it didn't last. Soon the Israelites began to imagine that the goodness of the land came from their own wisdom and strength, or as a gift from other gods. They forgot the God who provided everything. And this...
Right, so in this part of the video, I disagree with the narrator. He does not explain it very well, that there is a separate voice inside of your head. It doesn't bring it back to the point where they started the video, where there was this little snake that told Adam and Eve, hey, you are gods. God is hiding out from you. They don't bring it back to the exact same thing over here, although in the image there's a snake behind him, so I guess there's like a little Easter egg kind of thing. But it's not clear in here that it's not human nature that the Israelites just started to think. It's unfair to put it this way if you're trying to explain something. The voice inside your head, which is the devil, right, was trying to convince you to become egoistical again, to say that it was you who have done it. And egoism takes a variety of forms. A different God has done it. It seems like it's not I, but a different God, but it's your idea. You say, I want there to be a different God who has provided something for me. It's like you're hiding yourself, and you are putting your own hand over here, and you're like, oh, I'm a different God. It's like, oh my God, you are great. Oh my God, I am. Oh, you're terrible. Whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not egoistical because that told me. You're saying I'm not egoistical because it's not me personally, but it's an image that I have created. And if you have created that image, anything that image says to you is you. Or basically, if the devil speaks to you, tells you to think of an image, then that image is the thought. And the devil, instead of speaking to you directly, takes the image of that God, and he's going to be merciful and gracious. I mean, a lot of people think of the devil as, this red guy with two horns, and he's like going to stab you with a pitchfork. I think it would be pretty obvious. Like, you're walking down the street, and there's this red guy with a pitchfork going on. He's like, oh, that's the devil. It's not a very good disguise, And as somebody who's super smart and super clever, a disguise would be a very appropriate fitting. And the disguise of you is the best disguise in the world. As in, I think it's my thoughts. I was tricked. Those are not my thoughts. And that's where this video is sort of detaching. It's saying you people have been thinking. You people were allowing yourself to be influenced, allowing yourself to creep in and listen to the other side. The thing that inflates your ego, and once that is inflated, you're like, oh, this is all mine, I. And that's the thing that separates you from being as yourself in the moment to being a separate being, and then God being a separate being. And if God is a separate being, you can put him to one side, and the devil can come and take its place. Very simple formula. There is no mystery about how all of this works. It's just the doing of this is problematic. So let's go on with the video.
Led to idolatry and violent injustice, and ultimately, they're exiled back into the wilderness.
So the biblical story is pretty pessimistic. Humans fail in the garden, but we also fail in the wilderness.
But God stays committed to his purpose to bring humanity into the garden. And so God...
Hey, this is another one thing. God stays committed to bring humanity back into the garden. And now they're just adding to this mess, because now this is typical of Christianity as Christianity. What Jesus was saying, right? So the Bible and what Jesus is saying is one thing. Christianity that has formed around the teachings of Christ is a different thing, right? So we're not discussing about what Jesus said and the Bible and all of that. We're discussing about an architecture of understanding how the Bible works. They don't understand how the Bible works. Christians do not. For the most part, Christians are very blind and limited in their understanding of what the actual text says. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a daycare, nursery, where little kids go, and they've been taught with puppets about how life really works through a story. Because you have other shit to do in life, right? So you come and you watch a movie. It's like going to the cinema. You go to the church and you put on a cinema, it's so funny. You watch a film and you think that's how reality works. It doesn't. Okay, so Christianity is the same thing. It's just an understanding. It's the way that they have decoded, transcoded, and understood how they think the Bible works. And they make mistakes. This is one of them. This is a mistake that they have made. What did they say?
Meets us in the wilderness again.
But we also fail in the wilderness.
But God stays committed to his purpose to bring humanity into the garden.
So when they say God stays committed to humanity to bring them back into the garden, it reinforces the idea that there is a God out there and there is a humanity. And the humanity is sinning and is not able to connect with God. That creates another separation. It's just adding to this same narrative. If God has created the earth and everything around it, we always imagine it as there is a God and then there is his creation, right? So there is a thing called God and then there is a creation, right? And that is just our minds trying to understand this big mystery because we can't understand it. We have to divide things into separate beings because that's just how we think, right? What if I would say that God has created the earth? Not God created. There's a God and there's a creation, but God has created. So therefore, God is his creation. He has expanded himself out into a creation. He has become the creation. God is the creation. And so if I am a being of this God, I am a part of this creation. Therefore, I am a part of God. I am not God. I do not claim that I here sitting is the one who is God and you all are not. Right? That's a big misconception that people, when they would get enlightened, they would see how this world works. They would say, oh, I am a part of God. But soon after, with the lack of knowledge, they would claim that they are God. They are the Messiah. They are the preacher. They are whatever. It's not how it works. You are God. But you are separated from God. And the idea is to get back into God, who you really are and always were. And so it's not like God is punishing people, right? He's trying, or thing is, it's interchangeable. You are trying to get back to your state which you were before. That's exactly the same sentence as God is trying to get you back to where you would feel happy. There's no separation in that sentence. You and God are one, and when you become your true self, you become God. You do not boast about it because boasting is a part of the devil. It's like the Tao, you know? The Tao that can be spoken is not the true Tao. If you can speak about it, if you can say that I am God, the moment you do that is you separate yourself, because this is God, this is you, and there's no separation. Like, I don't know, it's like one. Pretend the gap between my hands is not there. It's just one being. But the moment you say, I am God, now you can see that there's clearly two separate beings. The one that says I and the one who points at God. And therefore, you are not God, because God looks like this. And this does not look like this, okay? Two different things. You are God, but you're in this state or whatever. And the idea is that you come together, become one. And when you're one, you will not be able to say that I am God. Because if you say you are God, you're not God. Because you're saying it. Does that make sense? If your eyes are open, you're truly open. You don't want, you don't desire, because you are what you are. How can you desire something if you are everything? If there is no separation, how can you want a thing? Because that thing is not separate. You are that thing. All of creation is you. You are all of the creation. And you are looking at yourself. How can you say, I want this? Because now this has to be separate. That's the delusion in which we live. We have separated everything out into different things, and we can no longer see them as they are from our true self. We see everything as things and separate them. And well, let's go back to the video and I'll expand on this idea a little further.
And so God meets us in the wilderness again, but this time in a new way. Early in the life of Jesus, he spends 40 days fasting in the wilderness. And there, he replays the wanderings of his people.
He was tempted by the deceiver to stop trusting God and to seize life and power on his own terms.
But where Israel and all humanity failed, Jesus succeeded by trusting his Father and listening to God's voice alone.
The video makes perfect sense right here. What Jesus did often is glorified, as if he did it, therefore you don't have to do it. He died on the cross, and he took all your sins away, therefore you're saved. There is no need for you to do anything else, because he's done everything. And by that logic, we're going to stop you from doing anything. It's like you can be the winner of the race. And we're going to give you a presentation of how Michael Schumacher in his Formula One car races around the track and wins. Now, you don't have to win the race because Michael has done it for you. It's already done. Michael did it, and therefore you don't have to do it anymore. I think you know or understand where I'm getting with this slightly faulty logic. But the idea that really this is what Jesus did. He went, he fasted for 40 days. The parasite inside was trying to get out. He's like, I'll give you just bow down to me, just let me live. I don't want to die. I want to stay inside of your mind. Like everyone in this earth is born with a parasite inside of their mind. And this parasite wants to come out if there is no food, and he comes out by giving all these temptations. And if you overcome that parasite, then you become at one with the Father. You become one. But are you willing to go on that path? And the thing is, this is a call to action. You know, when Jesus was walking out in the streets and there was these disciples, he was like, leave everything you have and follow me. And so I'm telling you, if you want to know the truth, leave everything you have and don't follow Jesus, but follow what he was teaching you to get to. He went to a point and he's like, I got to this point. You can get to this point. Right? It's not like, oh, let's all praise Michael Schumacher because he is the one who has won the race. It's like, oh, wow, so Michael Schumacher knows how to drive. I want to learn how to drive just as him. I want to finish the race. Okay? I'm a human being who is put on this earth, and I am able to do things. And I want to get inside of that Formula One car, and I want to press the pedal, and I want to drive the steering wheel, and I want to get to the finish line. That's what I want to do. But you're going to have to leave everything you have behind get off that stadium, put your swirly little flags going, yay, go Jesus, go Jesus, go Jesus, he saved us all, with a little shirt with a little fish and going, I love Jesus, hallelujah, 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 and get off your ass and go and do it in real life. This is an uncomfortable confrontation, and so therefore this church, this Christianity would want you not to do that, because it's dangerous out there and you can get crashed and burned, and it's very important to get the stadium full of people, otherwise there's no show. And so Christianity has become commercialized. It has become not the pathway for you to get enlightenment and get to the point of becoming one with God, but a medium compromise of a place where, yeah, look, we're not really doing what Christians should be doing, but we're supporting, in theory, what we should be doing. And so we're gathering together, we're praying, we're clapping hands, we're sort of stirring the pot for those little few travelers who want to do it. And then those few travelers who come out to actually do it, the society doesn't really understand them. They're too extreme and they have edgy ideas, and maybe better just to move them along so that they wouldn't really disturb the congregation with their radical thoughts. Yeah. Look, I've been through a lot of different Christian places, and I love the idea. For example, in Greece, there's these little churches everywhere, and I've slept in the church which one of the apostles have built. It's just abandoned there. Really, it's not like a. I live in Venice. There's a San Marco Square right there. There's where the bones of the Saint Mark, the guy in the Bible, one of the 12 apostles, around the corner from me, just over there. Glorified shrine, tourists come in there all the time. And then there's another one. Okay, it doesn't have the bones, but the guy, who it was, you can Google it, the one in Crete. Built, maybe Paul, I think it was, built a church there by himself, and it's just standing there. There's no road to it. It's just a little small little thing there. And I felt like it's like a little home, not because I'm super religious or Christian, but because these people are going out there looking for the truth by themselves, separating themselves from society, going out into this pilgrimage of trying to combat the voice inside their head, the devil, the thing that everybody knows about, but nobody dares touch it because they're too comfortable living their life. And so getting out there and actually doing the thing that should be done. There's this parable about this mountain, and it says, the higher you climb, the less travelers you find. O mountaineer, can you endure loneliness? And as those single units get off from the masses and try to get to the top, to reach the light, to transcend, and then become, oh gosh, there we are. I'm back again at life. Some along the way built little resting places, so that the other travelers can live. And it's very beautiful. From that point of view, the church is an amazing place. Like the people who gather together to find, to get rid of that, whatever it is. It's also the parable of the needle, the camel going through the eye of the needle. And before you say anything, I do know what the eye of the needle is. It's what do you call it? Gate? No, it's a wall, right? And then in that wall there is this big door, 4 being open to allow animals to go through. And in that door, there is a small door that barely fits a man through it, right? You put yourself through and you just sort of get in that small little door. That's the eye of the needle. And the camel going through the eye of the needle is symbolizing an impossibility. It feels like the camel would technically, he could, but he would have to be completely detached of all these things and really pushed through until like just barely squeeze through it. And in a way, it's the same thing with us and our mind and all the things that are mine. I. This voice in the very beginning of the video has come and he said that you, and you're like I. So you brought yourself up this big vision of who you are, and now you must challenge that vision. Right? And now you must find light. You must connect to yourself because I am this and I have all of that. And there is a God over there. There's like three things now. Right? So going through the eye of the needle would separate all of the things that you have from you. Right? All the, I got a Dolce & Gabbana little jacket. Right? I like the brand Dolce & Gabbana. Rip it off. It's not you. You are not this. It's not you. It's like Fight Club, like the things that we own end up owning us. In a mental state, that's absolutely true. We are trying to build up an image, an ego, an I, and to get to God, you must leave all of that behind. You must go through the eye of the needle, and the eye of the needle doesn't allow you to bring anything with you. And as you go through that eye of the needle, I would like to imagine you go continuing. It's like a thing that gets narrower as you go. And as you try to go through, you push through, you just try to stretch through. You're almost there, but you're stuck in between. And the only thing that can come through, if you want to go further, it almost comes out of your... And it goes, and you're like, I leave my body behind in this trench. I am exiting. The soul who is inside of you, the soul exits out, and it goes through. And as it goes through, this body is stuck there, but you're no longer attached to the body. You go to the other side, and that's where you gain your enlightenment. I am not my body. I am not the things that I desired. I'm not the things that I wanted. I am actually... And then you cannot say what you want to say because there's no words to say this, because any word would diminish its meaning. If you say, I am God, you're still just putting a big bubble around it, which is called God. If you can point at it, no matter from how far distant away. Right? I am a human being. There it is, human being. I am a superhuman being. Oh, but you can still point at it, right? I am an enlightened superhuman being. Oh, much bigger, but you can still point at it. As a matter of fact, the more it is, the more egoistic it is. I am God. I am the universe. You can still confine it to a single word, and therefore you can't speak about what you become once you get it. And that's why it's very difficult to speak about these things, because the things that you need to convey are beyond words. You cannot say what there is on the other side, because on the other side there are no words, because any word would be an insult. And so you are in a place where you are. And everything is vibrant and is beautiful and it just is. And you want to share. You want to hug someone and just tell them, this is it. This is life. I'm so happy that I am able to experience this. don't you want to come and live with me together in this reality? You can understand what I want to say and how and this inside only if you go through that door. Because I can't express, I can't share it with you. There's no ways. The only way I can take you by the hand, I can pull you through the door, through the crack. But the thing is, if I do that, if I take you by the hand and say, come, you're gonna start going through the door and you're gonna start fooling all the things. And you're gonna think I'm hurting you. I'm insane. You're gonna think that I'm trying to push you through a narrow thing for you to die. What the flip is this crazy person wanting to do? It's like, I'm like, no, you should die. Die. It's great for you. I promise. Just die. I promise you on the other side it's much better. Come look, I'm on the other. This is insanity. To one who has not been to the other side, the one on the other side is insane. Right? Well, let's pause that for a second. Let's go back to the video because I went way off track here.
And then Jesus went around announcing the arrival of God's kingdom and life, giving gifts to people who were in their own kind of wilderness.
Yeah, he was healing people and feeding them, sometimes in an actual wilderness.
And he called people to follow him and to listen to his voice and to share his garden gifts with others. And after his death and resurrection, Jesus...
Right, so once again, I'm just going to quickly pause. This is now going into Christian territory, right? So far, before this, that was great. And then they do this typical Christian thing. It's not their fault. They were taught to worship Jesus, right? Him, he, his, blah, blah, blah. And what will that do? What is the message that they're trying to sort of get there? Like, Jesus Christ, he did all these things. He's great. He's amazing. What else can we do? Worship him, right? I mean, him. Once again, separate, put him aside. Look, I'm all pro having a figure who has done something as an icon of a place where I must go. We need role models in our life to show you that something is possible. If you can see something being done, you're more likely to do it yourself. But there is a fanaticism line that has to be drawn where just because somebody has done it doesn't mean that you are now exempt from doing it. If I see something, I'm inspired by it to do the same and better, or at least enjoy what they have done, depending on the situation. Right, so if I see, a skateboarder and he's skateboarding and he's doing tricks and he's super enjoying the things that he's doing with his like twirly whirlies, whatever. I used to be a skateboarder. We don't use twirly whirlies, but for the sake of this example. And I'm like, wow, that's really amazing. Like, I want to do the same. I don't go there. I'm like, wow, man, that's really amazing. Let me fall down and worship you. And I'm going to tell everybody, look, guys, that guy has done it. He's amazing. Like, nobody will be able to do anything better than him. Or he's going to lead the way for all of us. Do you want to live or do you want to watch other people live? I mean, do you want to play football or do you want to cheer on how people cheer other players play football? I mean, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want with your life. That's up to you. Like me personally, I cannot be a fan of somebody when somebody is clearly... I cannot watch a video of somebody cooking a meal and be like, well, that's a great steak. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Like, great. wow, I wish I could make a steak. I mean, I can't because you're the only one. You get the idea. Like, I watch a video how to make a steak, I make a steak. You know? So, yeah, but sorry, sidetracking here.
Jesus went ahead of all of us to open up the way to the future garden land.
But we're not in the land yet. In a sense, we're like Israel now, wandering through the wilderness, which is often harsh and dangerous.
But Jesus promises to be with us, not necessarily giving us what we want, but what we need. And as he gets us ready to inherit the garden land that God has in store, he invites us to trust and to listen and follow and to practice being garden people in the wilderness.
Yeah. A good lie is 99% lie and just that 1% at the end. Sorry, a good lie is 99% truth and that 1% at the end is the lie. And I find it difficult to find people who understand that there's a voice inside of your head. The moment that you say that to somebody, they think that it's some kind of schizophrenia that I'm talking about, and I'm trying to imply that they're schizophrenic. It's difficult, so I don't talk about this. But I presume it's difficult for them to also make a little video like that to really just sort of break it down, because if the voice inside of your head is real, then it would feel that this kind of thing can compromise his solidified existence inside of your body. If the parasite that is inside feels threatened, if you're starting to go into the mountain, the parasite is like, oh no, mountains are bad, right? If I try to speak to you about the truth of reality, and there's a parasite inside of you, it's going to be like, oh no, this guy is fucked. Don't listen to him. He's crazy. And so when I speak about these things to other people, I often get this reaction of, this guy is crazy. Don't listen to him. It's been a long journey for me, and currently I'm a bit in the desert, and I am very much listening to the parasite inside of my body right now. Partially, what I've been saying to you is that parasite speaking, and I'm acknowledging that. And if I'm acknowledging that, it also causes for you to question if maybe you also have something inside of you that might be speaking to you. You don't need to do that. But if you were to simply question and there's nothing there, then no harm done, right? But if you were to find something, that opens up a whole new level of questions that would need to be addressed. So it's a journey. It really is. It's like, if you want to be comfortable, go to a church. You know, they're going to neatly and comfortably trim all the dangerous parts to keep you as humble as you can get, while still being inside of a dome that you don't experience any hardship. It's like a nursery. And if you stay within the confines of the nursery, you are going to be fine. might not get to the enlightenment level, right? But you're also, for the most part, kind of, sort of, maybe-ish, protected against the voice inside of your head to do crazy things. I mean, he's still there. He's always going to be there. That's granted. It's just not not a chance that we're going to actually fix the problem. But we're going to sedate it enough so that you feel that you're comfortable. You're not going to get to the other side, but you're going to feel okay within the confines of your reality. And I guess the reason why I started this video was to just say, like, yeah, you got 99%, but that 1% you're off. I would love to speak to someone. There's a wise saying. Words are the means to meaning. Meaning is the thing that is important. When you have the meaning, it's inside of you. It's a fundamental thing. It cannot be expressed through words. You just know. You feel something. It's true. And you can describe it, but it doesn't. It's not in words. You're just describing the thing. The thing doesn't change. And so I would really like to get to the point where I don't need to speak. The Tower of Babylon. Before we decided to figure God out by climbing to the top and claiming that we know him, we knew. We didn't need to speak. We knew. We could exchange whatever is inside, which is words are so small. You need a lot of those words to get to a sentence. And that sentence only works because it's inside of my head. And it doesn't really correlate to what's inside of your head. If I say a cow, what do you think? Is it a white cow? Does it have a dot in it? 2 dots? 3 dots? Does it have like little horns on it? A bell maybe? Right. Does it have a long tail or a short tail? Is it sitting? Is it lying down? Is it a cartoonish cow? Is it a cow in the field? Or is it some cow that is full of dirt and lying in the Dutch ditch somewhere? Is it a cow being milked? Or is it like a cow that is sitting on a chair and smoking a cigar? I just said one word. All of those possibilities could be inside of your head. All of those possibilities could be in my head. My cow and your cow is very different. And those are just words. they rely upon my idea of a cow and your idea of a cow being plus minus the same, but they're not going to mean the same thing ever. Whatever I said to you now and the way that you interpreted the words, but the thing that is inside of you, that is true. And when you express it, it's beyond words. Looking at the moon rise in a very specific time, in a very specific place, you can feel the majesty of the atmosphere, the warm summer breeze. And you're just overwhelmed by its serenity and beauty. And you look to your right and you can see somebody just completely immersed in the same thing as you are. And you're like, right? And he's like, right. Right. You don't need words. You know, this is way bigger than us. And when you understand that there's something can be way bigger than you, that's what's on the other side. You enter into a whole different world where you're like, right? And the universe replies, right. And we're missing all of that because this is my computer. This is my cat. This is my mouse, my microphone. I need to do this. That's basically it. In 2 words. Or more. Describe a 4-minute video by however long this video is. I'm going to go to bed now. It was a pleasure philosophizing with you about things that have been said today. Maybe one day this video will be public, maybe not, who knows. I just wanted to make a little video because I wanted to express this thought. So I wish you a very good day, night, evening, I'm not sure. And I hope to speak to you without words.